There's a report from the NCAA that 13 players from six different schools are being investigated for their involvement in gambling schemes. This was announced before the weekend, but this is the first time that we've been able to get to it. Players that were formerly associated with Eastern Michigan, Temple, Arizona State, New Orleans, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State are all under investigation for gambling violations. The NCAA has declined to name the athletes involved until the infractions process concludes. None of the players are currently enrolled at the schools where the infractions occurred. However, there are reasons to believe that some of them are currently enrolled at other schools and have transferred away and could still be actively playing college basketball or actively trying to play college basketball. You are both a college basketball fan, a former college basketball player, and a big time gambler. You like to bet on sports. What is your reaction to the news that there are this many players across this many programs being investigated for betting on this sport?
I think in the game that we love, there's no place for betting on your own unders. Now, with that said, emphasis on unders. If I want to double down and bet on myself, both figuratively and literally, that I play well, um, I think that that should be acceptable. I also think that college athletes should be able to bet on other sports that don't involve them, and I know that's not a thing. And I understand slippery slope, this, that, and the third, but I think there's no harm in actuality of college athletes betting on other sports.
Yeah, that's not what's being alleged here, though.
What?
What's being alleged here is that these 13 players were involved in schemes that included betting against their own team and game manipulation.
Yeah, that's a habitual line drawer. That's where we got to draw the line. We went too far there.
So, okay, to be clear, you're pro student athletes betting, but you
Yes.
are anti student athletes sabotaging games to
Yes.
make money.
Yes. I'm anti-betting on unders and game manipulation in a negative way. If I want to bet on myself to score 12, then God damn it, I should be able to bet on myself to score 12.
Got it. Okay. Understood. So couple quick thoughts from me. Number one, this is crazy. This is pretty widespread. This tells me that the NCAA is very serious about cracking down on this. This is not just like, hey, we got a tip with one school and we looked into all of their games and watched the film and we found a couple moments that look iffy. These players are in trouble. This is, we have a problem and we are aware we have a problem. And wow, there's a lot of people involved. I would say this. I think it's very naive to think that this only goes across six schools and 13 players. And I don't know what the fix is, but I do want to say I firmly believe, weirdly enough, I wish I could bet on it. I bet you there are hundreds of players involved in doing this. Will they get caught? No. Probably only 10% of them will get caught. But when you can make money on betting on a sport that you have influence on, whether it is you making the money or a family member making the money or a friend making the money, brains are going to start to churn. And it is just a difficult thing to monitor because if you're being honest about it, it would be easy to set foot on a basketball court, make a negative play, and play it off as if you didn't mean to. So I don't know how you crack down on this, barring like a widespread get rid of this. I don't know how you crack down on it, and that's not going to happen because there's way too much money to be made. But I do think this is at least one good step forward in the right direction from the NCAA to say we are not going to let this happen. We are going to send a message. Now, the last time the NCAA tried to send a message, it was with like boosters when you couldn't pay players back in the day and they sent a message to Dawkins or whatever his name was, Christian Dawkins, and a bunch of people that were supposed to get in trouble never got in trouble. So I do fear that the NCAA could run into that same path again here. But at minimum, it's a good thing that we're trying to crack down on this while we can, just keep in mind there's so many more players than this that are probably doing this, and you're never going to stop them all.
Right. Also, like it's not really gonna hit till it's somebody respectfully big. Like I get that San Jose State swingman really wanted his unders, but like if this is happening at a larger scale with like games that are of Power Five level, then that's when unfortunately I feel like it's gonna take something like that to happen, a scandal like that for shit to actually hit the fan.
Right. Right. Yeah. Do you know any of the players involved? There's one player that was at least discovered as being a guy that was named in this recently since this report came out. Do you know?
Trey Kaufman red.
What's the joke there?
I just want him suspended.
That's great, but no. BJ Freeman,
Yeah, bucket.
who is probably the best player involved in this, as far as I can tell. To your point, unless it's a huge name, I don't think anyone's going to care all that much. BJ Freeman is probably the hugest name. BJ Freeman, who ended up at Arizona State, he was kicked off the team last February. Nobody understood what was going on. He committed to UCF this spring, but the school has not ever publicly acknowledged that he joined. So seems like almost every school involved, Arizona State included, and probably UCF, became aware, like, oh, BJ was doing this and turned the other way. But kind of crazy. He was a good player.
Yeah, also it's just funny to me that, watching that or just asking me to pick some players that would gamble on the first of all, I start with Arizona State's roster. And then I go because there's 1 to 2 on there. If I'm a Kentucky fan, watch out for Jaden Quaintance. Not sure if he was involved with BJ Freeman at all last year, but BJ Freeman hoops like he bets on himself.
Yeah, I mean, he bets his overs, though. That's what I would say, not his unders. The hard look here for Arizona State is that BJ Freeman was their best player. So how's the dude betting against himself in the betting conspiracy theory your best player? That probably says something bad about your team. He scored 18 a game, card.
He was a bucket.
The dude betting on himself and trying to cheat the entire system was their best player. It's crazy. Oh man,
Forks up.
scary times. I do think so many more players that will never get caught are doing this, though. Do you agree?
100%. Literally. And I'm not sure like what seriousness it is, like, or if it's like actual game manipulation that they're playing in. But you telling me like some of these kids ain't firing up a little Saturday and like, hey, can you put a little $5 for myself on that parlay, my boy, if you don't mind? Like,
It's crazy. Still, I stand by this. I said this on a previous video, and I 100% stand by it. Players should be allowed to bet their overs. As long as you're not betting unders, I think you should be allowed to bet your overs. And I think it should just be public knowledge. Like there should be, if a college athlete's going to have to or place a bet, they have to somehow post it to like an official council that has to be like, okay, Jeremy Fears bet his alternate over assist tonight. He thinks he's coming out and getting 15 against Indiana. Let's see what happens.
you must submit your request to bet.
Yeah, like your ticket has to be approved by the NCAA, and then it needs to be like tweeted out officially by the NCAA. Jeremy Fears is on his overs tonight.
Love that.